Hi guys, I'm Aussie Villain and welcome to Sheffield Wednesday as we move from Season 5 into Season 6. It's a summer transfer special today as we look to build a team to go even better than we did last season. Now we do of course have a good young team and my thoughts for this summer is I think we'd like to get a midfielder in to play next to Samari. This is obviously the best 11 that we have right now. Now Pippi's on loan and was disappointing this season. Vazquez is also on loan, so no guarantee that those two will be back anyway. But I think we can get someone, a left footer, to play next to Samare. That's something I'd like to do. I would like to get, if we can't get Vazquez back, somebody in to play at left wing back. I think we're okay at right back because Del Prato is solid and Martinez is a youngster that's getting better and better. And if we can do those things, or those two things, maybe get some better depth at centre back. We saw last season Carmo wasn't the best at times when he was filling in, so I think that's the area of the field I'd perhaps like to look to strengthen. We can see here we've got all the strengths of the team, but I mean, really what we want to look at is the weaknesses, the lack of depth, generally speaking. Just generally it looks like a lack of depth is the sort of the main weaknesses that we do have there. There's a number of talented young prospects that's saying Binsley. I tend to disagree. Honest, he hasn't come through. Derek Young has never really been a prospect, though. We just say he's a promising midfielder. Maybe we send him out on loan, see if we can get more out of him. And Hodgson as a goalkeeper is, again, he's decent. We do have some good young goalkeepers at the club, but unfortunately for us, no one will take them on loan, so it's difficult to get them the game time that they need. Now, in terms of the finances, we haven't got our budget for next season as of yet. We've got 130 million in the bank, though. We made a profit of 30 million last season. So the season just gone, season 5. If we end up with 28 million for this summer coming, I will be pissed. I will not be a happy Aussie villain. So I'm hoping we'll get that plus, on top of what we already have left over from this year's transfer budget. If that's the case, we'll have some fun this summer. If it's not the case, then, like I say, I'll be very cranky indeed. Wage budget, you can see we're under it for what it stands, but that will hopefully be increased. So yeah, we'll get the summer underway. We'll come back when there's something to report, and hopefully it'll be a nice big juicy transfer budget. Okay, well, we didn't have to wait long. We've got our transfer budget, and we've got 1.4 million to spend on wages, 68 million as a transfer budget. It's not ideal, but we've got about 400 grand a week we can spend, so we'll be able to do some damage with that if we get some player sales out. We do get to keep 100% of what we bring in, so that's good. Stadium expansion plans, that has been confirmed. We'll have a 55,000 seat capacity at Hillsborough. It'll be done halfway through next season, so 37 million, that's going to cost us, but that should be fine. And then the upgrading on the club's youth facilities, 3.8 million, again, 6 months to complete. Is there anything we do anything else on facilities? Let's go and improve the training facilities as well. It looks like that's been approved because it's already in progress. So that'll be done even sooner, which is strange considering they had a lot of... Actually, no, so it'll be done... That's done in October, and then that'll be done in... That makes sense, in November. So, yeah, things are beginning to look good. Anything else here we want to do while we're here? Increase next season's transfer. It's too early to ask for that. They'll just say no, won't they? Stadium, build a new stadium. We don't want to do that considering we just spent 37 million on upgrading. Yeah, it's all looking good. Everything's under control so far. Okay, we have solved the where are we playing in Europe conundrum. We are going to be in the Europa League. Now, the reason for that potentially is because the FA Cup final, if we can go to this, was won by West Ham. 2-1 over Chelsea, so well done to them. We can see their 2 goals. They went behind and then got 2 goals to nick the win, somewhat against the run of play, it would appear. But Chelsea sacked Frank Lampard after this, so that is... maybe a bit harsh on Frank. He did get them 3rd in the league into the cup final, but not enough for Chelsea. And one other piece of news to update you on is Glatzel will be moving on. We have sold him to Derby for 2.5 million. Now, remembering, of course, that we signed him from Liverpool for 31 grand, I'm going to say that's a successful transfer for us. He didn't play in the league. He did have a couple of cup games last season. Did he play at all this year? No. So given that that's the case, then we've essentially made a £2.5 million profit on him. I'm going to pat myself on the back on this one and say, well done, Aussie Villain. Yeah, look, I'm just at the Wonder Kid factory now picking up the new guys and then I'll pop round. Brazilian and some kid from Bournemouth. All right, mate, see you soon. Okay, it is June 10th, which means that obviously transfers can now take place. Glatzel has officially left us for his 2.5 million, so we've got that in the bank. But we have made two signings, two wonder kids, or wonder kid and a almost wonder kid perhaps. We can see both B- rated signings by the fans. I'm pretty excited with this. Eduardo is, we signed him for 13 million, I think it was, yes. 13 million from Grêmio in Brazil. A wonder kid, obviously, a central midfielder with Proaste leaving on from his loan, Pippi leading from his loan. I did think we needed probably one other midfielder other than sort of the left footer that I really want to try and get in. And this guy should be pretty good. Excellent vision, teamwork, decision-making, composure, and aggression. First touch is good as well. Passing will hopefully improve with some time. Decent dribbler as well. Just generally all round, I think he's going to do a good job for us. We can see he's been playing in for Grêmio in the Brazilian top flight for pretty much 2 seasons, or a season and a half. Obviously, they run calendar year, so they're sort of mid-season right now. So I'm excited for him. He should do quite well for us, already almost doubled his value. And the other player we've signed is from Bournemouth. It's Dale Bailey, I guess you would pronounce it. A young goalkeeper. Now, we do have young goalkeepers at the club, but none of them are quite this much potential. We were able to get him. He was still on a youth contract, so we basically just paid the compensation, so 950 grand for him. And I think he can come in and almost straight away be the backup. We'll look to sell on Bazunu for some profit. We've also got, as I said, a number of young goalkeepers. We've got Gary Turpie. We've got that Tunisian kid, or Dali, or whatever his name is. Hodgson, of course, who we saw at the start of the episode. So we've got now a number of good young goalkeepers to sort of battle it out, I suppose, behind Bevilacqua as to who's going to be the number 2. And this is a kid that we still will sell him for much, much more than that if he doesn't work out for us. So, yeah, that is the 2 signings that we have made. There will hopefully be a lot more to come. In terms of the finances, we still have 56 essentially million to go. We've been trying to sell Castrate. We could have got 30 million for him. He rejected an offer from Hellas Verona. He's rejected a contract. Where am I trying to go here? He's rejected a contract from Brentford as well. Where are you here, Castrate? Yeah, so I'm so annoyed. We could have got 30 million for him. That would have been beautiful. One thing I did forget to mention, and while I'm almost willing to force him out the door, is that we've also made this signing that's coming in the summer. Swajwana. He's a young Dutch right winger, so plays his position, Castrate's position that we signed when he was 15, I think. So he's coming in this summer as well. So yeah, Castrate was disappointing last year. We got this guy coming in. He can leave. All right, Gavin. Well, best of luck at your new club, and make sure you say hi to Solanke for me. Okay, mate. Well, I've got to go. I'm getting another call. Hello? All right, stop shouting. Who is this? Carl Rooks. And you play for Sheffield Wednesday? Yeah, I think I did reject a bid from West Brom for you. Why? Well, mate, you've got a little bit of potential and I don't want to lose you. Alright, well, what about a new contract and a loan move? Would that cheer you up? You want to be a star player. Alright, mate, good on you. So here we go. This is Carl Rooks. He is the Nicholas Bednar of overrating your ability, apparently. He wants to be a star player in this team if he's not going to go to West Brom. I don't want to sell him because there is actually a decent player there. As you can see, he's unhappy a transfer was blocked. He could turn into a useful, he's only 18, he could turn into a useful squad player, club trained as well. We did see a little bit of him last season. He made his debut in the league. He did okay, to be completely honest. But a star player... no, Carl, not this season anyway. So yeah, we may have a problem there, but we haven't promised him anything. He'll get over it, surely. I mean, idiot. Absolute idiot. Now, there is a little bit of news to catch you up on, and that is our second sale of the summer with Gavin Bazunu going off to join Newcastle. He's gone from our bench to their bench, so good luck to him. With Bailey joining, we didn't really need him as a backup anymore, so, we've more than doubled our money in a season since we signed him from Sheffield Wednesday, from Manchester City. So, yeah, I mean, he's been a good player for us. He had 2 years, of course, before Bevilacqua came in. He does, to be honest, he deserves to start somewhere, I would imagine, but he looks like he's destined to go as a backup goalkeeper around the Premier League, unless he wants to go to the Championship, perhaps. But yeah, so that's happened as well. 4.8? It's not a bad fee. Okay, just a quick update of a signing that we've made. A signing of opportunity, really. He may come off, he may not. João Arantes has come in, only 275 grand. You can see the fans actually like him, and he is potentially quite good too. Only on just under 5 grand a week. Signing as a breakthrough prospect. He's 18 years old. This is what we've signed. As I said, potentially very, very good. Not necessarily the type of player I was looking to sign, but he's, as I've already said twice now, he is a good player. And if he comes off, fantastic. And if he doesn't, we've ripped Braga off again, as we've done a couple of times already. And we'll sell him for a massive, massive profit in a season or two, I'm sure. So just a quick one there. But João Arantes, we might put him in the senior squad. He has joined us. And as I said, we might have a good one. We have breaking news this evening on a busy day at Sheffield Wednesday, which has seen over £40 million change hands as Liram Castrati has left the club. But local reporter Ernest Topbottom, a defender, has come in. Thanks, mate. Yeah, Murillo, an 18-year-old Brazilian defender, has signed. Now, we're told he's a wonder kid, so expectations will be high. Alright, so it's been a busy day on the transfer market. One in, one out, lots and lots of money spent. First up, Liram Castrati has gone off to join Southampton. £23 million we got for him in the end, which is not bad. Brilliant for us, 2 seasons ago. Last season really did flatter to deceive. Ultimately, he was all pace and off the ball movement, and I think we do need a little bit more than that now. So we've made a massive profit on him. He's gone to a championship club. He'll probably do well there. But you can see the difference between first season at the club and second season was quite significant. So he's left, and good luck to him. I think he's been one of the stars, I think, so far for us, hasn't he? And the in is a wonder kid. Of course, I've signed a wonder kid. What else would I do? An 18-year-old Brazilian. We signed him from Flamengo. He's here on 17 grand a week as a squad player, so he won't have to play. My plan is that we will use him in the Europa League. So let's have a look at Murillo. He is a centre-back. Ignore that. He's a centre-back. What I like about him is very, very good positioning, good determination, so he should develop. Technique is good, which is a bonus for a defender, but not sort of essential. But decent tackling and heading already. Marking is already superb. And so for an 18-year-old, I think he's going to do well. I think he's more than capable of going in and playing in the Europa League, particularly the group stage for us, and getting a job done. He's already played half a season, maybe a little bit more than that in Brazil's top flight. So yeah, I think he's ready. And we spent 18 million on him, and I think that'll prove to be a bargain down the line. Alright, we have had another busy day. We have 1 in, 2 out to catch you up on. Let's start with the in. Of course, it's a wonder kid. Leonardo Augusto. We've gone back to Brazil. We've signed ourselves another one from Palmeiras this time. £14 million is the fee. That was his release fee, so we triggered that. A B- rated signing from the fans. You can see he's signed as a squad player. He's currently a 3-star ability player. He's currently good enough, again, for this Europa League group stage is what I'm thinking. Could improve a lot. He's going to be on 32 grand a week. You can see all the other ins and outs of his contract there. And let's have a look at what we've signed. Now, this is not exactly what I was looking for, but it is my left-hand or my left-footed Mazzella midfielder. Again, good passer, good technique, not too bad physically, has a decent tackle, and mentally he is very well-rounded. Again, at 18, you'd hope that this would all go up a little bit, but he does have the work rate, so he should obviously work hard for us. Decent first touch. I just think he's a good, solid all-round player. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. 14 million we've signed him for. Again, another one of these guys that's played a season and a half in the Brazilian top flight, and he's not going to come in and start Premier League games for us, but I think he should be good enough, as I said, for that Europa League, particularly the group stage, and then he should develop through that, and we'll see where that leaves us. So that's the signing that we've made. Now, we do also have 2 outs. The first one here is Naby, and he has left us £12 million off to Werder Bremen. I didn't necessarily want to sell him because he was useful for us to come off the bench. We know he's a good target man, but he came to me, he wanted to leave. He wanted more playing time, so we've sold him for 12 million. We signed him for 225,000. So again, we've made a nice little bit of profit off of him, and he's probably not quite good enough for what we want. But I thought he would have been somebody useful for this season with Europa League football, and then we probably would have looked to move on from him anyway. So to get the 12 million now, that's absolutely fine. And the other one that has left is Christian Bellic, 8.75. He's gone off to Brentford. Again, I just feel like we've maybe moved past him. I offered him a new contract last season. I just feel like he just wasn't quite good enough. At 27, he's not getting any younger. So I think if we were going to sell him, this is the summer we had to do it. And so we did, basically. So we basically made a little bit of, what's that, $1 million profit on him, or a little bit more. Not bad, I don't think. He was a useful player for us, a good player for us, but someone, as I said, that I think we've moved past now. Now, there's one other thing to catch you up on, and it is this. Now, if I look a little bit pale, it's because this made me sick. £94 million Barcelona bid for Walter Razzini. We obviously rejected it. Now, he kicked off a little bit. I basically said that we'll sign players. He can make get back in the Champions League with us. So now I'm desperately trying to sign players to keep him happy. He is happy for now, but we have made that promise to him. If we go to information that says the promises, you can see he's disappointed not to be able to join Barcelona. But I did make a promise. If we go here and here, we should be able to see it. Strengthen first team squad. So, we've got to really make sure we strengthen the first team squad, or we're going to have an unhappy Razzini. We have breaking news out of Sheffield Wednesday, as there are concerning reports emerging that manager Aussie Villain has signed not a wonder kid. Now, for more on this story, we cross live to local reporter Ernest Topbottom. And Ernest, what can you tell us?
Thanks, mate. It's absolute carnage down here as folks run for their lives. People feel vulnerable. It's as though everything they've ever known has been ripped away.
Okay, nobody panic, but I have signed an experienced player. Basilia has joined us. Thomas Basilia, £25.5 million we've paid for him. We've had to pay him 110 grand a week. This is why I signed Wonder Kids. And you can see he's a 3.5-star potential player. He's not likely to be any better than that. He's a B-rated signing, rated by the fans. Let's have a look and see what we've got here, and I'll talk through my thought process. He has basically come in to be the third choice centre-back. So we've got MB and Rivas, who will be the first choice two, and then this guy will be the number 3 choice behind them. Now, what I do like about him is just good positioning. He's not the best tackler. He's not the best marker, but he's okay. He's well-rounded. And he is experienced as well. He's got good decisions, good anticipation, so he should be a solid centre-back, and really that's all we can ask for. The wages are high, as I said, 110 grand a week. We signed him from Zenit St. Petersburg. He's only spent sort of a season there, but he's done well. He did well for a season before that in League 1. So, I think we've signed more or less a sure thing. He may take a little bit of time to settle and learn the language, but hopefully he'll be fine. So for all you who told me I should sign experienced players, this is on you. Just a quick update of a departure. David Carmo has left. He's gone off to Roma, £34 million. He basically has to make way with the Basilia, whoever it was that we just signed. I just wasn't quite impressed by him last season. A couple of times at the end of the season there where we needed him to fill in when Embiid was injured, he was at fault for some goals. And so I don't think 34 million is anywhere near a bad fee. Considering we signed 7.5 for them. He never got averaging over 7, which again makes you think maybe he's just not quite at the level that we need him to be. And like I say, £34 million, that is a very nice fee indeed. Okay, breaking news. I'm back in my comfort zone. I've signed us a wonder kid, a £32 million wonder kid that is on 81 grand a week as a star player. And when we see this guy, I think you will agree with me. Now, the reason we've had to go so big here, basically, is because we beat off a lot of other clubs with this guy's signature. So I just essentially gave him what he wanted. The one concerning thing is a minimum release fee here for clubs in the Champions League. There was no way around that, so let's hope that we're in the Champions League next season and we don't have to worry about an 84 million buyout. Let's have a look at it and see what we've got in Nikolai Bulasov, and we have got ourselves an absolute star of a left wing-back. Very, very pacey, not too bad in the air either. Technically, at first sight, he can look a little bit Yeah, like how's your mother kind of thing. But marking is a concern because he does have to defend somewhat at some point. But otherwise, he's a magnificent dribbler, a magnificent crosser. He's got a good first touch. His tackling is, I think, acceptable. Positioning is maybe another weak point. But I think what we gain from him will hopefully anyway make up for those weaknesses. And he's only 18. The positioning and the marking, that could come along. These other things, long throws, long shots, heading, free kicks, finishing, that's not really that important for what the position we want him to play in. So I'm very, very hopeful that we have signed ourselves an excellent, excellent star of the future here. You can see he's played a little bit in CSKA Moscow's first team. But I'm absolutely thrilled to get this guy. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I don't think we've overpaid at all. Is he a star player right now? No, but he will be first choice at left back. And I'm absolutely thrilled. Okay, we are at game day for the first game of the Premier League season. We start against Tottenham and newly promoted Everton, so that will be next episode. As you may have obviously picked up, we didn't sign anybody else. I think it's been a relatively good, productive summer, though. Now, just a quick reminder of the outs. One other out that did leave was winger Ollie Williams. He's gone off to Middlesbrough, 100 grand plus a 50% sell-on. A couple of young goalkeepers have gone out on loan. Dick Healy has gone off he went to MLS, I think, didn't he? Yeah. And then Hodgson has gone to League One, I think it is, Grimsby. So we've got two young goalkeepers out there. And another young goalkeeper has gone off to Preston. So that is that. And of course, you can see all the ins here, and there is a couple here, and Eduardo and Bailey that obviously came in before the window had reopened, and Bazunu and Glatzel had left before again the window had reopened. So let me know what you think of our summer business. I didn't maybe do exactly everything I wanted. I still would have liked to get that big, powerful left-footed midfielder in. I'm not sure if Augusto's the man, but he might be down the line. So maybe I have done it, just not for this season. Let's have a look at our squad coming into the season, though. And of course, as I always remind you, the window is still open. We're only August 10th, so we still have about 3 weeks to go. This, I think, is the formation that we'll look to use for the season. It worked best last year, so we'll go with it again. If we look at our striking options, obviously Razzini will be the first choice. Brummer will partner him wherever possible. We are going to have European games, so I think the backup to those two will be Giordano, and William McLaughlin is back from his loan. He didn't really kick on as I'd liked. He's only 19. There's still a little bit of hope that he could come into being a decent player for us. But he'll be a backup. He'll play in Europe probably. And we might look to loan in another striker like a Sam Gould we had last year, just to sort of pad out the numbers up top. Yeah, I mean, Oliver can play as a striker, but he's not a striker, so I don't think we'll be bothering with that. That brings us to the number 10 role. Bing was obviously the star there for us last year. He will be first choice. Edwards, and we have a story about Edwards. I might as well tell you now. Marcus Edwards has broken his ankle. So he's going to miss the start of the season. Unbelievable. But yeah, there we go. That is the Marcus Edwards situation. Oliver, we signed him to play this sort of a role. Is there still a player there? We'll find out this year, to be honest, because he'll probably play some games in Europe. And the other one is Arentes, who we signed as just a bit of a bonus pickup this summer. Again, we can play him there in Europe and see how he gets on. So that's the number 10s. A little bit further back in midfield now. Walter Razzini as that powerful left-footed midfielder Mazzella type. He can do it. We would obviously not be able to play him up front if that's the case, but if we can get another striker in, does that become something that's worthwhile doing? That's a question for the class. Let me know what you think of that. Is he, depending if we, what sort of striker we get in up top, could he be useful for us in midfield? He's just a brilliant footballer. No wonder Barcelona want him. Other players in midfield, obviously Samare. We know what he can do for us. He's been brilliant since we signed him. Eduardo, new for this season. Very, very excited about him. Leighton Clarkson was brilliant for us last year. I don't know if he's someone that's going to win us a Champions League, but as a squad player, very, very happy with him. And Oliver can play a little bit deeper, though I suspect if we see him, it will be further forward in this number 10 role. Obviously, Lewis Cook can play back here, but he'll be a little bit further back again. Eduardo, we've already seen. This is our left-footed Leonardo Augusto. Looking forward to seeing him develop. Sodlikov, maybe not going to quite make it with us, but he's hardworking. He's got good creativity. I do think there's a useful player there. And Arentes, again, could play further back. But again, if we see him, we'll tend to see him further forward, I think. There is an argument to say we could do with another midfielder, perhaps, given that Rezzini is probably going to be a striker. We might need one more, but again, let me know if you have any particular thoughts on that. As a defensive midfielder, Lewis Cook will, to start the season, be first choice here. We do, of course, have William McQuaid, who will play a lot in Europe, captain of the club at Macrory. Was still basically at the club because he's useful to us as captain. He's 27, so we need a bit of experience somewhere. And Matteo, he is back on from loan. He was out at Crystal Palace last season. He will play football this season, again, most probably in Europe. But I'm keen to get him involved this year. If we go out to the wings, down the left, Belousov, absolutely made up that we've got him in. Timon, his contract's up the end of this season. We will probably extend him. He's a useful player, I think, as a backup. And Callum Jones, I think he's going to play in Europe this year. We'll obviously split it between him and Timon as the backup role, but he did really well over the summer in terms of development, and I think he's just about ready to be sort of play a bigger role in the team, I suppose. Not obviously be first choice, but sort of share the backup role, perhaps. If we go over to the right-hand side, Martinez is an absolute star. He developed really well for us last season. Hopefully he'll continue that this season. McCrory can play over here, though it's not where we will typically see him. The other two options are Del Prato. He's got back from his broken leg, so let's hope we see good stuff from him this year. He was really solid for us last season. And Carl Rorks, who of course thinks he's a star player in this team. Prove me wrong, mate. And we'll see how he does. You can see he's still unhappy. It's a point of principle. I'm not letting him move because he thinks he should be a star player for us. So I want to see that. I want to see that happen. So that's our right-sided wing-backs. Centre-backs, very, very happy. We have very good options. Bright MB will be first choice along with Rivas. As I mentioned when we signed him, Basila will be second choice. We also have Murillo, who is going to be play a lot of games for us this year. Dylan Keach will place a lot of games for us in those sort of European ties, cup games, things like that. And Del Prato is a very capable centre-back as well, so we may see him fill in there at some point. And the goalkeepers, Beverquois is our undisputed number one. And then we have two youngsters to sort of battle it out to be his backup in Gary Turpie and also in Bailey. We will probably see both of them get some game time this season in cup games and in Europe. Just depends how Europe is going. But Beverquois is just undoubtedly the number one goalkeeper at the club. He's absolutely brilliant. So that is our team that we have. Let me know again where you think we could strengthen. I do think maybe we do need a striker looking at that. But that's something we can load in. That's not a problem. And maybe a midfielder. But I think otherwise I'm happy with what we did, I think. We have, in terms of finances, still have 37.5 million to spend. We still have, 200 or so, 220 grand a week to spend in wages. So there's space to do something else if we need to, or a couple of things if we need to. But I'm quite happy with what we've done. If you've enjoyed this, hit thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you next time as we get the season underway against Spurs and Everton. Take care.